What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this is my review for The Shy Season 3, Episode 7, The Stain. Now, Kiesha been missing for about 2 months, and Ronnie been on the lookout looking for her, so we gonna see what happens. If you're new, hit that subscribe, and let's get into it now. We see that first at the beginning of the episode, Ronnie is having a toast at the bar for Miss Ethel, and he said, "My grandma, she loved me more than my own mama. You're always there for me. To my angel." And everybody give a little toast, raise a glass. They give a little shot. Miss Ethel and his boy's like, "Damn, that was long. This boy he talking. You know she don't want all that. That's why she ain't had no funeral. So y'all kiss my ass, listen." Meanwhile, Ronnie see Jada. Jada, she say, "Hey Ronnie, I heard you saying nice things." He said, "Thank you for coming." She say, "Well, you know Miss Ethel was special to me, but you want to make her proud, like you said. You need to stop drinking." I mean, it's a funeral." She say, "Yeah, well, you need to go ahead and stop drowning your sours in brown liquor." He said, "Well, last time we saw we was together, we was never together. Well, I'm sorry." And she left, didn't even give him a handshake. Meanwhile, we see Kiesha laid up with R. Kelly Sr., and he's got his arm all over, talking about, "Yeah, I mean, we had a long night last night. Huh? Why you ain't wake me?" And so he real creepy. We see that Emmett is meeting up with Dom, and they trying to have a meeting, but she's stressed. They want to meet with the landlord at Sonny's, and he like, "Man, just be calm. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, man. We gonna make it." So she listening. They trying to get it together. He got his shorty with him. Lo and behold, this little rail that's the manager, and so he's saying, "Hey, look, man, we like Sonny's, but we the new generation." He's a new generation. This ain't Star Trek. What you? This Pepsi, the next generation? What the hell you talking about? He's like, well, I'm just saying, I love Sonny like an uncle, but the way he doing things, it's time to change, and you raising the rent, he can't pay it." And she say, "Yeah, and I got some cake for you to try." And so he looking at the cake, he like, "Ooh, I mean, your cakes do look nice and juicy and moist, but I can't do it, man. Sonny, I can't put an old man out on the street. I'm sorry, man, I can't do it, all right?" And so then we see later, Duda is eating breakfast. His wife come down, and he happy about the little poll numbers for the election. She say, "I wouldn't get too happy. That bitch ain't gonna give up too easy." He say, "I ain't too happy, but it is looking good." And she say, "Uh-huh." And he say, "Are you still mad because I barked at you in front of your mama?" She say, "No, I'm mad because you did that interview." He say, "Well, look, it worked, didn't it?" And so then we see Jake come down. He tell him to eat. Jake ain't hungry. So he say, "Hey, look, I got a meeting, important meeting, and I want y'all in your Sunday's best." And he say, "Man, what you want me to tap dance? I ain't no prop, nigga." And he grabbed Jake, "Man, who the hell you talking to?" And Jake say, "Oh, what you gonna do? Beat me up? Give me a black eye? Yeah, I'm sure that'll work out well, right, for your meeting, right?" And so now, dude, I know that Jake has got him between a rock and a hard place, and his wife Rose sees that too, and so Duda let him up, and he realized something is going on with Jake, and Jake talking about, "Yeah, that's what I thought." Meanwhile, we see that Keisha's mom is in the room, and she's kind of packing up some of Keisha's stuff, but then she stopped and said, "It's too hard. I can't do it. I'm not ready." And then we see that Dre is like, "Well, we got to do it. I mean, it's time to start the grieving process." And then she like, "I'm not ready," and leaves. So Dre kind of disappointed. Meanwhile, we see Kev. He talking with his boy Jake, and Jake is saying, "Man, stop. I can't believe Duda is using me." He say, "Man, that's what politicians do, man." He say, "Man, I didn't know it was like that." And then he see that Kev is still looking at Gemma, and he's like, "Man, leave her alone, man. She put your business in the streets, man. Forget her. Then tried to bite you off." He say, "Man, you know what? You right." And so later we see Jada, and she with Tomas, and they kissing and stuff, and she's kissing him, and they having or they go, they kiss it. You want to go inside with Fina while we're 30? And so then they go inside, and she got Emmett and his baby mama in there living nasty and foul mess shit everywhere. They like, "Oh man, I didn't know Miss Ethel died. I didn't know you came home early." And so she's snapping on them like she always do when it's a man in her life. And so they trying to clean up. She done called them trifling and ungrateful and said, "Don't be playing with my good hair. It looked like an old dead fern." So anyway, they go out and talk in the hallway, and he says, "So you telling me, but you got your son. He looking like he going to be be there for a while. She say, oh no, just to the end of the week. Oh, he not going nowhere. He going to stay. She say, how you know? I mean, we dating, but don't be telling me about my family, even though she was just telling him about his people. Now he leave. She come inside. She snapping, talking about they dirty, need to clean up. They ungrateful, and they looking stupid and surprised. And she say, you know what? I'll be glad when y'all gone at the end of the week. I'ma be cool. And then them be like, well, actually, it's something I need to tell you. She say, what? We need to stay a little longer. She say, how long? To the end of the year. And so pretty much she didn't fell for the okie doke because they ain't going nowhere no time soon. Meanwhile, Ronnie's still at the bar drinking with his boys, but this time he got a cup of coffee and they like, oh, okay, what's up? Say, ma'am, try to get sober. Maybe the 14th time is the trick. And they say, well, why don't you come with us, man, to Springfield? We get you a job. He say, well, when you going? He said, tomorrow. He said, I got stuff to do. Meanwhile, we see old Uncle Pevert, and he's all over Kiesha, breathing down her throat. And then he talking about, I'm going to go make some breakfast. He get up with his little Archie Bunker boxer drawers. Then he go and lock the door, lock her in there. So while he going up to make some breakfast, she get out the bed, get dressed real quick. She started looking for some type of weapon or something. She break the chair leg and make her a little nigga beater. So she ready for him to come down because she about to let him inside the club upside his head with this nigga beater. So she hiding, sitting behind, and so when he come back with the food, he come and he not expecting that he about to get cracked. And so he put the stuff down, get in front. She hit him upside the head as hard as she can, but she ain't strong enough to do enough damage. He end up stopping her, then he subdue her, and he pretty much terrorized her with a fist to the face, but he didn't punch her. But yeah, I mean, I know she's probably terrorized by him. And so later we see Papa, and he going to pick up his little boo thing. And so he like, come on, let's go to school. And he gave her some flowers. He like, this for my little Nubian queen. She like, well, thanks, but I can't go to school. I gotta babysit my mama. She gotta look for a new job. He's like, but you miss any more school, you gonna get in trouble. She say, well, I gotta do what I gotta do. He like, well, I'm gonna try to help. She say, nah, don't. My mama get mad. So later we see Emmett. He going to meet with Dom. She still got her business going, and he telling her that, hey, we got some good news. He want us to cater this party for 7 G's. And so she like, man, how we gonna do that tonight? And it's just us. He say, I'll do whatever you want me to do. And so that kind of had her wheels spinning. Meanwhile, we see Duda getting a shave and a haircut from his girl, and she say, you know, if Jake find out you killed his brother, you might end up with a knife to your throat. And he said, he ain't that bold. Meanwhile, we see that Drea is in the room packing up all Kiesha's stuff behind Kiesha's mama back. So she like, what are you doing? She like, look, I can't watch you do this no more. It's time to start the grieving process. It's been 2 months. She like, yeah, 2 months. What's the problem? She like, look, you always in here and we out there. We need you. She like, well, Kiesha need me too. And she's saying, well, we need you out there and Kev needs you. And I don't want to lose you too. And she's saying, why are you such a hurry to pack up Kiesha's stuff and move on? And she's saying, we just need to start the grieving process. And so then that's when she realized she think Kiesha dead and she gave up on Kiesha. So she mad. She tell her, you know what? Since you ready to pack up some stuff so bad, here, you pack up your stuff. And then she go in the room and then she start getting her clothes, and then she go ahead and grab her salami and say, hey, you take this salami with you, okay? And so then she go ahead and leave, and she take the plastic and she say, you know what? Take the ring and the wedding pictures too, because Kiesha never liked your ass anyway. And so next thing you know, Drea's out on the street. Meanwhile, we see Ronnie, and he talking to his boys before they go, and they telling him, you know, he need to come or they'll hook him up or whatever. So he like, all right. Before they go, one of the little old school jams come on. So Ronnie start dancing the drunk jig in the middle of the street. He happy. Hey, I'm in jail. Hey, remember? Hey, remember the time? Then he see the mural of his dead stepson, and then reality kick back in, and then he sober up. Meanwhile, we see Kiesha. This dude done removed everything out of there now but the bed, and all they got is a little baby twin bed that this overgrown Negro is laying on. So she decides she might commit suicide. Meanwhile, Jemma's out there waiting for Kev. He come, he try to pass Aunt Jemima without giving her no play. But she stop him and she like, why are you not talking to me? You still mad? And he's like, look, you put my business out in the streets. I asked you not to. And she like, well, I'm sorry. And so when he tried to walk away, she grab him and she like, you want to come over? And so she basically invited him to come park his little two-door car in her garage. So he go over to her house, and next thing you know, we see them in the little bedroom, and he like, are you sure? Because of course he nervous, and she like, I give you my consent. And which was weirdly weird. And so next thing you know, they about to get it on, but then all of a sudden they hear her daddy come, so they hurry up, put their clothes back on, and then daddy come up. She like, we were just studying, and he got the book upside down, and he like, you know what, come here, let me talk to you. So she tell him, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. And then Pops, he come tell Kev come downstairs, he need to talk, because he know he trying to park his car in my daughter's garage. Meanwhile, we see Papa, and he in the church, and he done messed up the church's money. He's over here trying to steal from the collection plate, and his Pop say, hey boy, what are you done lost your natural mind? Go get a switch. He say, no, it's for a good reason. It's for Maisha. Her mama lost her job and she can't pay the bills. You said this to help people. He say, it don't work like that. That's for our bills for the place. He say, well, what about that money Miss Camille gave you? Who is that for? He say, well, that's for you. He say, well, I got everything I need. He say, well, I'm glad you got a good heart. He say, well, what about your heart, Daddy? Meanwhile, we see Ronnie going door to door, house to house, looking for Kiesha. He getting the door slammed in his face left and right. Then we see this old lady in the window, which they do got a lot in Chicago, and she say, ain't nobody gonna help you, boy. What you looking for? He say, I'm looking for the girl. The guy across the street say he heard something with his wife. He ain't got no wife. That boy touched. So Ronnie go on in the back, break into his backyard, just so happened to have a crowbar right there perfectly, and so he used the crowbar, and that's basically the key to the city. He gets inside, gets into the basement. He said, Kiesha! And so she, yeah, me, I'm here. And, Kiesha! Not knowing they take it so long now, Creepo is back, and so Mr. P-Vert, Uncle P-Vert, is trying to come in. Ronnie just now breaks in to get Kiesha out, but as soon as he gets in there, dude comes and tackles him. So now Ronnie then got failed, tackle from behind. Kiesha try to help, try to scratch his eyeballs out. He slams her down. Ronnie's still hurt. Ronnie tried to stop him. He kicked Ronnie in the beer gut, and that was pretty much a wrap for Ronnie. I mean, Ronnie, once he got hit where the OE is stored, it was a wrap. But Kiesha picked up the crowbar, cracked him in the back of the head. Next thing you know, she hit him in the head, turned him into a crackhead. He bloodied. She just went non-stop, and I mean, I understand, and it was good to get that frustration out, and he deserved it, but I hope she didn't kill him, because he need to go to jail, and we need to know if it's any other victims. But she got out. She's still in shock. Again, the track woman that never runs, she's walking in the street, and then she just kind of collapsed for a moment, and next thing you know, we see that she starts to cry and everything, and then the police are there, and we see that Ronnie is beat up bad and put in the ambulance, and so is Kiesha, and she's really kind of emotionless and shocked, and Ronnie, he didn't turn into the hero that he always thought he could be. Meanwhile, we see back at Gemma's that Kev is getting intimidated by her daddy, and he trying to explain and stuff, but they kind of don't have the sound on it. Then he basically say, was you trying to fuck my daughter? And he's like, and then he get a phone call, and it basically he bounced, say, I gotta go. But what he should have said is, I don't know, you need to talk to your daughter about that. Anyway, we see Kev running in the hospital. It's his mama, and she's saying, yeah, it's her. And so they hug. He hug his mama, Nina, and everybody happy. Somehow Dre is back there together with Nina. We don't know how, but Dre is there trying to give support and act like she's happy that Kiesha's back. And so we see Nina come, and she see Kiesha, and she kind of speechless, both of them. And Keisha's like still in shock, traumatized. She come up to Kiesha, and she's saying, look, you don't have to say nothing. I'm glad you back. whenever you ready, you say whatever you want. And everybody, it's a bad situation because you happy to see him, but you don't know what to say, what not to say. You don't want to make the situation worse. Kev, he ended up giving her a hug, support. Later, we see Emmett, and he's at this little catering party that just so happened to be Gemma's daddy. And so he's put together the catering, and we see Doodah Day. He's there, and he tell his wife to keep an eye on Jake. And so, meanwhile, he talking with Camille, and she like, everything cool? Because I can handle that. He like, yeah, right. Anyway, we see them having the meeting with Gemma daddy, and he's saying, hey, look, this right here shows that y'all splitting the black vote. I'm gonna pick one person. I always pick the right one, and I'm gonna go with Otis Perry because he reminds me of myself. And so she mad. She roll her eyes, then talk about some, oh, y'all trying to Shirley Chisholm me, huh? Oh, y'all trying to be, scared of what I could do. But I'm gonna let you know I'm gonna rise above that. Meanwhile, we see in the back, Lil Rel, he talking with Emmett, and he's saying, hey man, that was good. That was fancy food right there. I hope I don't get fancy diabetes. Here's the check. And so they happy, they celebrating him and Dom. And so he say, hey, look, I'm going to give y'all a couple months to rent out Sundays. Let's see how it works. And so they celebrating with the champagne. They give a little hug. Next thing you know, they got that little look in the eye. And I think something is getting a little hot and a little bothered. And next thing you know, they start kissing. And Emmett is dropping them draws with the quickness. And next thing you know, he's sliding up in the Dom. And it's not going to be good for him. Meanwhile, we see Papa and his daddy. And they come to see Maisha. She like, yeah, I accept Jesus Christ. She thought they was Jehovah Witness, but little did she know they came to give her money. She like, Maisha, why this man and his son in here giving us handouts like we homeless? And Maisha say, yes, ma'am. No, I didn't put your business out there, ma'am. And she real respectful to her mama, but they like, look, this ain't a handout. We want to help. And so when Papa leaves, she wave. And so Maisha mama start to feel like, man, maybe people do care. And so later we see Doodah. He come to talk with Jake, and Jake playing the game, and he like, hey, look, what happened with your brother? I didn't kill him. He stopped following orders, and when things went wrong, I could either protect him and let it be a war, or let him go and avoid the war. So he like, so you killed him? He say, no, I didn't kill him. But he said, why you trying to save me? Because I see you a lot like me. He say, oh, so I'm going to be a criminal, or you could be the mayor. Meanwhile, we see Drea, she inside the hospital, and then this nurse like, yeah, be careful and look for suicide. She talking about, oh, I know, I'm a high school counselor, which don't mean a damn thing. Meanwhile, we see that she go in, and Kiesha and Nina, they all hugged up, and she's starting to feel emotional about everything that's going on. And then we see Ronnie in the hospital by himself, and then Kev come like a nice, mature young man, and he say, I'm sorry, I apologize. And that was a big step, and it meant a lot to Ronnie, you can tell, because he put a lot on the line to find that girl. Now it's time for real talk. Now, this episode was good. I'm glad to see Kiesha finally got free. I wonder if that dude died or not. I would like to know if he had any other victims or what. I'd like to see him go to jail and pay for what he did. Another thing that really, really pissed me off in this episode is Dre, and how she was trying to push Nina to pack up all the stuff and all of Keisha's stuff and move on, even though it's been 2 months. When I went through a traumatic injury and I was depressed and going through stuff, people used to try to always tell me, oh, well, you need to do this or hurry up or whatever, whereas everybody operates on their own time schedule. You can't push people to move on past stuff like that just because a certain amount of time has passed. Some things don't operate on time, you see. So maybe it may take 5 or 10 years. She may never get over it, and that's understandable when you lose a child. So Dre talking about she's from high school, that just showed that she don't know what the hell she talking about, and that's why she worked where she worked. Another thing that pissed me off was when Emmett's mom, Jada, had Tomas come over. She know damn well that she got these people living in her house, her grandbaby, her son, and his baby mama in her 1 bedroom, while she was trying to get on him about what his mama and his family said. Her stuff is Stanky, her damn self. And she brought him by, and then when he told her about how things was, she got mad and tried to tell him, don't tell me about my family or whatever. But she didn't have a problem telling him about his mama and everybody, even though he don't live with his mama and you wouldn't have to deal with them. Whereas if he was with her, they would be a part of his life and their relationship all the time. So I think that was a double standard, and she wasn't, getting it. And another thing, I think that Duda, when he was explaining to Jake that he didn't kill Reg, I think when he was saying it, I don't think he explained it correctly, because he should have said, instead of Reg not following orders, Reg robbed the wrong people and they wanted retaliation. Either I could have made it a war or I could have stopped it. And when Jake say, well, why you trying to save me? He could have said, because your brother asked me to. That would have ended everything. Then he would have been like, well, I mean, this is where Reg wanted me to be, this, that, and the other. But instead, he didn't say that. He's saying, because I see you with me. And I think that was, not the best thing to say to get the reaction he wanted. And the last thing that I didn't like about this episode was when Kev was about to bang old Gemma. That's really her fault. She invited him to the house. She gave her consent, and that's her daddy, so he need to be talking to her. He didn't need to be talking to Kev. That ain't your kid, and you don't know him, and you don't have the full story. Instead of getting on the dude, he should have asked his daughter, why the hell you bringing this boy in my damn house? Why you bring him in here? Why you bring this boy in your room? That's who he should have been talking to. And back in my day, when we had parents confront us and talk about, come here and talk, we would have left. We would have ran out of there or walked out or whatever. That you ain't my daddy. I'm not about to sit here talking with you. What you about to do? Give me a whooping? You gonna beat me up? Man, Kev should have got the hell out of here, just like he did when he got that phone call. He didn't have to talk to that dude. That dude had no right talking to him. And if that was my son and I found out some dude was chastising my son, I would have a problem with him. Because who the hell are you? Talk to your daughter and I'll talk to my son. Okay, so I think that part was messed up. And lastly, that Camille Holloway situation, whereas he endorsed Duda over her, he just wanted to endorse Duda over her. I don't like when gay people start to say whenever you disagree with them, because people disagree. Just because I disagree with you don't mean I'm homophobic or trying to Shirley Chisholm you or upset or anything. Maybe I just don't agree with what you're saying, and that's it. It's just that simple sometimes. And that happens with straight people as well as gay people. And people should be able to disagree without being labeled something else because they don't agree or because they have a different viewpoint. And I don't think that was right. And I think that was kind of messed up that she tried to do that to them and make them look like they, tried to blackball her or something. He could only pick one candidate, so one of them was not going to get picked no matter what. So we'll see how that all turns out. In the end, I want to know what y'all think about this episode, what you think about the real talk comments that I made. And I'm interested to see your comments. And I'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace, and I'm out.